You're now rocking with the best of the best.
Black Ice,
Body Snatcher.
D-Line.
British Fist, baby, all day.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know who that tag team was that you just saw in that pre-record, that's D-Line. That's the tag team that is officially sponsoring this week's edition of the British Fist Q&A, which is an hour long. Q&A, man, and D-Line are a great tag team. Support them!
All I'm going to say is, D-Line, thank you very much for being a part of this Q&A. A little personal message to us was absolutely great. We're sponsoring you, we're supporting you in this video as we enter our Q&A.
I love these shirts, man. They're awesome. But anyway, this is Q&A, the D-Line edition, I guess you could call it, or Q&A number 93, as you guys may know, or the hour-long Q&A if you're excited to see us for a whole hour on this camera.
And we are the British Fist. Ka-ching!
Ka-ching indeed. I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is wearing the exact same shirt. So with an NJ, people.
What's up?
A very good question relating to your what's up in this Q&A, as I read. So keep sending us in your questions. We're hopefully going to get through as many questions as we can that you've asked us, as we have a backlog of about 13 pages. So I'll tell you what, let's get straight onto this hour Q&A, and we've got drinks and everything because this is going to be a long Q&A. Mega Roy Green, what do you think of the Shield winning their tag team titles and defending them under the Freebird rule?
Well, the thing is, I really thought that they would be the next tag team to go on and face Daniel Bryan and Kane and probably win because of the teased feud they had building up. So I really thought they were going to be the ones.
I think right now the Shield are a little bit bigger than the Tag Team Championships, but if you do run out of things for them to do, the Tag Team Championships wouldn't be a bad idea for them, especially under the Freebird rule when you can have Ambrose and Rollins team up, or Reigns and Rollins team up, or Reigns and Ambrose team up. Wouldn't be a bad idea as soon as, you know, they've moved away from that main event scene. You need a way to keep them on TV and maybe even make the tag championships feel a little bit more important.
Even though they are higher than the main event scene, I really do believe that before you actually become a world champion, WWE champion, you do need a below card,
yes,
below card championship. So given two of the tag and the other one an IC run, or at least a main event slot, either way, I think we'd definitely separate the three of them.
You know, that's really weird. My D's shining on the camera. That's weird, isn't it? I don't know why that is. But anyway, thank you, artificial lighting, because we don't get any sunlight here in Britain. Mr. Anonymous User, what is your favourite video game? Yours?
Call of Duty, even though I take nothing away from the SmackDown games, but the thing is, I play it always on Legend mode, and it's not that easy. They keep taking stuff out, adding new stuff in, but Call of Duty, they're just going to keep making it better and better and better. I've
always been a fan of the FIFA game series, even though FIFA 13 annoys the fuck out of me, and I've broken about 3 controllers while playing FIFA Ultimate Team, and that is pretty much what I do, but with very loud angriness. I've also been a fan of the Guitar Hero video series, the video game series. I love Guitar Hero, but out of the two, I'd probably say FIFA, just because I'm always on FIFA, and the Guitar Hero series is no more.
Tony Hawk's. Old classic game.
Or Skate by Black Box. I love that game too. Who is your favourite Scottish football team? Let's move on. Anything Goes show WWE.
Hello!
Who is the most overrated superstar of all time, other than John Cena and Kevin Nash? Well, you pretty much took ass. Who is the most overrated wrestler of all time? I don't really know. Some people may say Buff Bagwell was the most overrated wrestler of all time. I don't know. Who would you say? Some may even say Goldberg.
Goldberg, I look at him and think, yes. If I had to think of another, I was thinking of other companies, but I really can't think who I'd personally say.
RVD.
RVD now, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I mean, there are a lot of overrated guys out there, but the most overrated. I've always thought that Kevin Nash was kind of overrated personally, and yeah, we'll just move on from that. Some people may say Hogan, but considering what he did for the business, you can't really call him overrated. Who is the better Hall of Famer, Mick Foley or Bob Backlund? Well, we know a lot more about Mick Foley, so we'd have to say Mick Foley, even though Bob Backlund is, of course, a legend. But because we know more about him and we saw a lot more of what he did, and we're not old school fans necessarily, have to say Mick Foley from our own personal standpoint.
I just look at Mick Foley and the fact that, yes, taking it away from Bob in the past, but Mick Foley's still doing stuff here and there, and I still think that he's probably the one that eyes are going to be going to, especially now.
Indeed, but the Bob Backlund induction into the Hall of Fame is a good little addition there for some old school fans, and the Bruno Sammartino thing. I expect a lot of old school fans to really like this Hall of Fame class, which is I think the best since the first one in 2005, or the first proper one. Jamie Ines NZ, hello there, man from New Zealand. And we are not mirrored, by the way, which should make him happy. But then the trouble is, he generally is an advocate of 5-minute or less videos, and we've already gone over 5 minutes, and we're going to be going another 55. So you probably won't like this video. So I expect a dislike from you. Anyway, I expect to soon be totally tuned out of WWE. A John Cena heel turn may bring me back. What year do you think Cena will turn? Please speculate and give me a number. 2013, 14, 15, choose a year. Do you think they will actually ever turn Cena heel? I mean, it all depends on if they can build up a babyface that could take Cena's place. If not, then he's going to be babyface for a long time.
The only thing that's actually made John Cena look heel is if you go up to his father, and I don't think they're going to copy that storyline again. So to be honest, the fact that Vince McMahon is praising John Cena for the good he brings into the WWE, I think turning him heel, they're just going to think, yeah, the kids might tune out. Yeah, they'll forgive him if he comes back face, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't necessarily think Cena needs to turn heel. I just think that WWE really need to change his character somehow. He doesn't necessarily need to be heel. You can still keep him a babyface and keep him interesting if you change something about his character, which is one of the main reasons why many people don't like him, including yourself, NJ. If they were going to turn him heel, I don't even think it would have been 2000. I don't even think it would be 2015. I don't think WWE are going to build up a babyface as big as Cena for a long time.
If I was to go with one, if I had to reply to your question, I'd say 2014. The reason is you have face Taker and heel Cena, but it's not going to happen.
Could be an interesting concept there. The Streak versus Cena. Maybe you'll be heel for it. RFV089. If a movie was about your life, which actor will play you and which actress will play your love interest?
If there's an attractive female in a movie that's meant to be about me, I'd want to be in it. And the female, I'll go Amy Lee.
Amy Lee is very hot. Do you know what? This is the first I've really thought about this. Who would play me? Probably Ben Affleck. You'd have to have a bit of a good British accent, though. I'd say that. I would have Tom Hanks cast in there as my dad, or something like that. But who would play my love interest? You know, I don't really know. There's so many hot actresses out there. I was tempted to say Keira Knightley, but no. AJ Lee, fuck it. She can do a bit of acting. That's fine with me. Do you think that mainstream music sucks with songs that don't make sense, yet the artists who make the songs are making millions off it? Unfortunately, with the case nowadays, you don't need to really be that talented to make something catchy, and let's face it, you know, Gangnam Style, would you say that's a great craft of music that got over a billion views on YouTube? So the main thing about music now isn't about quality of music. It's mainly about how you market it to, like, teenagers. Now, why do you think Justin Bieber's songs do so well? He's very talented, but he does, you know, his music does a lot of, you know, views and buys simply because of the way that it's marketed to teenage girls. That's pretty much the brink of it, and one of the reasons why I do not like mainstream music. NJ, would you please read the next question while I'm drinking my water?
Well, I recently saw some Wrestling Hall of Fames on the internet where they were inducted. Chris Benoit, do you think he should have been stripped of those Hall of Fame places?
Interesting question. Basically, what he's saying is, if it's a he or she, I don't really know. But if sports stars like Lance Armstrong were stripped of all his medals and Tour de France wins as well as cycling Hall of Fame sports. So basically he's saying, do you think that a guy like Chris Benoit, who, you know, has been put in some kind of Hall of Fame, that have done something like Chris Benoit, should be taken out of the Hall of Fames respectively?
Number one, I want to slap myself. The reason I did that is because it's Lord Voldemort. I apologise. I apologise.
Lord Voldemort.
And I think the fact that he's still giving us quality stuff before he did the wrong probably is obviously why the WWE, WWF put him into the Hall of Fame in this kind of area. So I don't think it should really be that aspect.
You know, I think we do need to really think about it. Chris Benoit did some good stuff, you know, in the wrestling business, but essentially at the end of the day, how bad press is it that he is going to be in the Hall of Fame for what he did? You know, I see exactly what he's saying. Guys like Lance Armstrong, who essentially cheated to win. You know, Chris Benoit didn't really cheat. He just, you know, did what he did. guys like Lance Armstrong should be stripped of their medals and Tour de France wins simply because they cheated to do it. Whereas Lesnar didn't really cheat. He just, did a bad thing which has haunted his image for many, many years. The AJ Assassin. Is he the one that's making AJ's character change now?
Or the other AJ, either one.
I don't know. So is AJ ruining every storyline she's in because it's about her? Yeah. Well, she ruined the CM Punk Daniel Bryan storyline that all the internet nerds wanted. She ruined that John Cena Ziggler storyline. She's ruining Dolph Ziggler as well. So pretty much whatever she's in, it kind of gets ruined. The GM thing was ruined.
To be honest, I don't think AJ's really done it to Ziggler just yet. I think she's just there. She's not actually acted on anything yet. But the other ones, yes. And that's one of the big reasons why I'm not behind AJ one bit.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to the point where she was shoved down our throats so much that it was just like, there we go. We should have had more. We should have had less AJ Lee and more D-Line! Anyway, fuck ROH for not promoting D-Line as much. Would you like to see DX beat the shit out of 3MB? No. I tell you who I would love to see beat the shit out of 3MB. These guys! D-Line! That would be awesome!
As much as it would be a comedy effect to have D-Generation X do all their stunts on 3MB, I still think that 3MB are just going to ruin their own career.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much as soon as they sing, they're going to, really ruin their own career. It would be funny to see DX kick the shit out of them, though. What was better, Undertaker versus HBK WrestleMania 25 or Undertaker Triple H at WrestleMania 28? Go on, you go first.
Again, as much as I do enjoy Triple H and all his great quality matches and stuff, the fact that WrestleMania 25, like I've said in the past, has been a WrestleMania that I've respected and liked in some way. I think this match, because of being Shawn Michaels, the one to go against The Undertaker, I feel that had a stronger purpose to happen.
I think Undertaker versus HBK, the fact that this was the first time at WrestleMania you had the streak against Mr. WrestleMania for the first time, and even though it was freaking mid-card because Triple H and Orton had to take the main event, I still think that was a better match than Undertaker versus Triple H, the end of an era thing, even though that had a bit of a better story, in my opinion, built up over those 4 years, essentially, with Shawn Michaels in there. I think in terms of match quality and, how much I enjoyed it, Undertaker versus HBK is definitely up there. It was before Undertaker really started to look like an old man. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, when Undertaker retires, I think WWE will lose loads of viewers. Do you agree? Not necessarily. I can see where you're coming from, though.
No, because Hogan, when he was in WWE, yes, people are tuning to see Hogan. But with him moving on to TNA, the WWE hasn't affected. Yes, their ratings have gone down, but I don't think it's because of Hogan leaving. With Taker going, the fact that he's not even here now, and the ratings had stayed at the 3 area.
2.2.
Before it went to 2.2.
Yeah.
I think it was at the 3. They were doing fine without Taker, so I don't think Taker's going to affect it.
I don't think Taker really has that much of an effect on the ratings. Maybe in the short term, maybe in WrestleMania, but I don't think WWE will lose loads of viewers. I do see what you mean, though, with the streak being a big selling point of WrestleMania. Without the streak being there, WrestleMania, there will be less of a selling point to WrestleMania. I don't think they'll lose loads of viewers just because Taker retires. I just don't think that. In the same way that I don't think they lost that many viewers when Shawn Michaels retired. It doesn't really revolve around one wrestler retiring, unfortunately. iRod4545. Do you think that The Rock could retain the title and vacate just in time for the 50th anniversary of the WWE Championship, perhaps unveiling a new belt in a tournament to determine a new champion? Wow, this was sent to us ages ago because since then he has won the title. He has also created a new championship. So this is an old one.
Very old.
So in answer to your question, he's already done it. Dark Blue T1757. Who are your top 10 British grapplers of all time? Well, of the ones we know, we've got William Regal, Wade Barrett, Magnus, Dynamite Kid, British Bulldog. There are, Charlie Robinson. There are a couple there. But the thing is, there aren't really that many British wrestlers that we really know about who from the mainstream. There are many, many British grapplers that I see William Regal talking about on NXT all the freaking time. We just don't know of that many because it's not really mainstream, is it? Unfortunately, British wrestling isn't mainstream. View Hall for hire. Can we hire you to increase our views? Oh no, we've already done it because we've gone mirrored off the rope show. Why do people in the YWC want Team Hell No to break up? If they stay together until Kane retires and have numerous title runs, Bryan will still have enough career time to be a great singles guy. What's the problem? I think the problem right now is that they've been teasing this breakup for so long that by the time it gets to it, it's just going to be like, eh.
The way I see it is that Team Hell No, for quite some time now, yes, they were in a tag team and it worked for some time, but the fact that I think we can see what direction they're going to go in and then making us wait for it, I feel that it needs to happen. But what happens after that? Yes, Kane will probably go and put people over. Brian will hopefully step up. But I just think they should break up now because they've been showing us it for a while.
They would be better off in singles capacities, I think, right now. I think that the tag team was good to reinvigorate the tag team division, but right now it's got to the point where, you know, this whole breakup thing is getting a little bit stale. Idea for a new tag team that we'd probably put in there, D-Line, but unfortunately, for some strange reason, WWE can't see talent when it hits them in the face. I'll just say that. Hopefully, those guys will get picked for the gut check, but TNA probably won't be able to see talent either, so there you go.
Because the thing is, when it comes to D-Line, we're going to bring this into this question, so we talk about tag teams. This tag team needs a place in a wrestling company.
Yes.
They're higher than ROH.
Oh, yeah.
They need to go into TNA where they can perform in a great quality way. And eventually, I would love to see them in the WWE. Or by the time they get up here, it'll be called the WWE.
I mean, to be honest with you, they're a very unique tag team. I don't see why they're not getting more mainstream exposure than they have, because what other tag team in mainstream wrestling can you say that are former American football linebackers? You know, they're pretty big guys that could pretty much kick a load of ass. And from what I've seen, they're pretty damn over with crowds. But anyway, let's move on. Sorry about that. If and I hope not Daniel Bryan breaks from Team Hell No, takes on Daniel the Dazzler Bryan gimmick. What do you guys envision? Daniel the Dazzler Bryan. That's like going to be... No, they've already got someone for that. It's called Fandango.
Daniel the Goat-Faced Bryan, that's what he is known as.
Daniel the Dazzler. That's what I should call myself, Daniel the Dazzler Parkin. Anyway, will we see El Generico main event? Will we see... Sorry, I can't take this question seriously. Will we see El Generico main eventing pay-per-views in the WWE? Are you serious, bro? Are you serious?
When he wins the Royal Rumble, yes.
How is he gonna? Why would El Generico? El Generico is a great talent and deserves a spot in the WWE after all the hard work he's done. But why he would main event pay-per-view? I don't know. Sorry, I just burped. Luca Brasi. What made you want to start doing the What's Up? Was it during the Truth Heel gimmick?
What's up? The thing is, I always liked that. When he started doing it, I just thought, right, I'm going to hold on to this because there's something special about those two words, and I brought them to life. I held on to them. I actually thought it was a good idea to get rid of it, even though that's what people represented him
Technically,
by.
he's copying that off us now, isn't he?
He sadly is.
He should have copyright infringement.
I think the fact that he's let it go, it's all mine, and people I want to respect and thank each and every one of you who took part in it. You shared the "What's up?" with me.
And with his heel turn as well, what happened? It was a great heel turn, by the way. He stopped doing it, so we thought, why let's not create a new star out of this and sign up NJ. Howard Starr, be a star. How do you like the new Comedy Tensai? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, he does that. He's going to get buried. He was getting buried before, but at least now he's getting some wins and is actually kind of entertaining. You know, better than what he was before, just a freaking jobber.
He's digging himself a grave and he's going to lay in it, and we'll probably get Bruce Clay sitting on the top. Or laying on the top.
He'll never get out, especially with Naomi. Oof. But anyway, which monster heel benefited from a face turn? Yokozuna, Umaga, or Albert? Well, Umaga was always better as a heel. Albert never really did anything. So I'd have to say Yokozuna, just because Yokozuna was at least a really, really good talent that you could utilize mainly as a heel, but as a babyface too.
I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, again, Albert, when he broke with Test and stuff, okay. Umaga, I think, again, it was still something different, but he was better for the heel, so yeah, Yokozuna. It's
a shame, really, with Umaga that he never, I say it much like William Regal does, us Brits, Umaga, that he never really was allowed to go the full distance. It always had to be losing to Cena. You know what I mean? It's a real shame. They had a really good character there. RG Rich Porter. Which mid-carder from the WWE would make a good TNA World Champion?
There's one person.
Who's that? Wade Barrett? You say Wade Barrett? I say Drew McIntyre. Simply because I think if you're going to be main event in TNA, generally I think a big... But not with that gimmick, of course. I'm just saying. But I think in terms of his size, he has a main event look without that gimmick. I'm just saying. And could imagine if that happened, and then everyone from WWE just bashed TNA. Oh, you made the guy from 3MB the TNA World Champion. Can you just imagine that? Bloody hell. King Daddy Dan. Oh, is that like a third channel for me or something? Do you think Taker versus Punk will happen at WrestleMania? I thought that for some time.
No, it's not going to happen. No.
I thought this was going to happen for some time, and it was proven on last week's edition of Raw. So I kind of knew this was going to happen. So even before this was announced, I would have said yes. So there we go. Anything Goes show WWE getting more airtime on our Q&As, and they're getting a bigger push on our Q&As than Trio Boy Show are getting on Raw right now, aren't they? Anyway, since John Cena won the 2013 Royal Rumble, which of the shows were better in which Cena won the Royal Rumble? Royal Rumble 2008 or Royal Rumble 2013?
John Cena questions. Fuck you.
I'll tell you what, you stay there. I'm going to go get the DVD because I can't.
I'll be busy by the time we get here. None of them. John Cena win the Rumble. John Cena should not win the Rumble. No, John Cena sucks. John Cena's a little faggot. You know, he should not win the Rumble. No, John Cena just no. John Cena just sucks. No, you should not win the Royal Rumble. No, John Cena just sucks. He bloody sucks. I'll say none of the Royal Rumbles. He's a bit of a loser. He's a faggot. He's a loser. He should kick out the WWE. Why the hell did he win the Rumble? I don't think he should win the Rumble because John Cena shouldn't win the Rumble.
Look at this. Look. Right. That's in German for some reason. I don't know why. We have the Royal Rumble. Orton and Jeff Hardy, Edge versus Rey Mysterio, Jericho versus John Bradshaw Layfield, MVP versus Ric Flair. So 2008 wins it by a landslide. I'll say that. Bigger Attitude Era star, Austin or Rock? Both were big stars. Austin was... Yeah, well, there we go. Austin was obviously what the Attitude Era was linchpinned around, but The Rock, I think, was the bigger star, but Austin represented the Attitude Era more, which is why he was the biggest star in the Attitude Era. But if you look at what The Rock has done compared to Austin, Rock has gone on to conquer Hollywood. He's now come back to WWE, basically drawn 1 million buy rates for WWE single-handedly, you could say. Won the WWE Championship, so the bigger star, Rock.
I'm going to say Austin because, to be honest, when people in the Raw 1000 happened, they didn't really care about The Rock. Yeah, Rock be here, but they were all wanting Austin. The crowd, the WWE, Austin, and also the fact that, yeah, Rock's gone for some movies, but we're thinking of the wrestling world, and if you think of the wrestling world, it was Austin that stole it.
Al-Qaid, not sure Ali Qaid, sorry, I pronounced it wrong, from Twitter. Can you think of past wrestlers who could have been IC champion? I think many past wrestlers could have been. You had like Mr. Perfect, Bret the Hitman Hart, Scott Hall, Asa Flamon. You could even throw in, Honky Tonk Man, Macho Man Randy Savage. Even a Ric Flair. All those old school guys could easily have been an IC champion.
The Honky Tonk Man was the longest
reigning. Yeah, he was. Yeah, indeed, world record breaking. Which of the NXT superstars who are currently on the main roster gets the first push? So which of the NXT superstars? So you've got like the Shield, Biggie Langston, Antonio Cesaro, Damian Sandow, the primetime players. Who do you think gets the first big push going up to the main event?
I think Cesaro's been against main eventers and the WWE are high on him as long as he gets the crowd behind him eventually. But I look at the Shield, who are already in the main event. But like I said before, you should, hence why I'm not very much behind Ryback, you should win a lower card championship so you could be taken more seriously. So it looks like it's leaning a bit, even though the Shield are involved in main eventers, a bit more towards Cesaro.
Very easy to say that Shield will get the first push because they're involved with main event, but I think long term that either Cesaro or Sandow will probably get the first big push. It looks like they're quite high on Cesaro. He's currently in a mid-card role. Yes, he's doing a lot of jobs, but it looks like WWE are quite high on him as they're putting him up against guys like Ryback, Cena, Orton, Sheamus, etc. So they obviously have some faith in him. So I'd say Cesaro primarily. What do you think of talents and performance of Chicago Pro Wrestling? I think Kevin Steen summed it up. Why the fuck would I want to watch a Mickey Mouse promotion? Just saying.
I watched it sometimes. It gives a few compliments of the matches, but it's just something that I can watch on a weekly basis.
You can't take Chikara seriously. I mean, fucking hell, you think ROH is bad. You can't take comedy version of ROH seriously. Luca Quarter. No doubt we're going to get loads of hate comments for saying that, but that's just our opinion. Luca Quarter. Do you think Christian deserves one more match for the World Heavyweight Championship? No, his time was in 2011 and he was a Randy Orton's bitch.
for the World Heavyweight Championship. You didn't say win, so yes. I'd say why not put him in there, especially if the champion is, let's say, a newer wrestler.
Yeah.
I think, yes, fight for it, but just don't win it.
I see Christian now more as a mid-carder, maybe isn't a guy you can maybe put in there once or twice, maybe to face maybe a Cody Rhodes or a Damian Sandow if they ever win the belt. I know what you mean. Bringing in an experienced veteran to work a program to get over a newer guy who won the belt. I totally agree with you on that one. Who do you think Del Rio should face at WrestleMania 30? He's facing Swagger this year. Del Rio at WrestleMania 30. Do you think he might have moved up the card by then to maybe he could be probably in a program with maybe a CM Punk or something like that? I'm not sure.
I think Del Rio, if they want to take more serious, like they're trying to by the end of 2012, going on to 2013, I think why not put him against someone like a old school legend, not someone as high as a Mick Foley, but just someone there that can probably represent him and work against him.
Yes, it's pretty hard to think of who a guy will face at WrestleMania 30 is. It's very, very hard to predict on our part. Who do you think Punk will face at Mania 29? Even before we had the announcement, I would have said Undertaker. I really would have done.
Let's change to WrestleMania 30.
Austin would be a good option there for WrestleMania 30. Blazer McTurbo. A very, very, very good question here, by the way, which will invoke good answers from us. Why is James Storm considered a big deal by the YWC? His character is old and original, aka, the beer-drinking redneck Austin. He doesn't get a big reaction from Lockdown. We saw he isn't a draw. He is also blatantly using signature moves of wrestlers that are still relevant. Orton, Rope DDT, Codebreaker, Triple H Facebuster, Sweet Chin Music. I know that wrestlers always take things from other wrestlers, but as far as I can see, the only original thing he does is the Eye of the Storm, but that looks like the kind of move Kelly would do. Wow. Why is James Storm considered a big deal? I think because he's one of those guys in TNA that has never gotten that big push, and the YWC have just wanted someone new, because generally TNA have featured a lot of older guys in the main event scene, and they just wanted someone who is a TNA original to actually be pushed, and that's why the YWC were very, very happy and were rating him very highly once he got in that position. It's just a shame that he's fallen off the weird side since then.
I look at James Storm, and yes, they had a big storyline going, but I'm not blaming James Storm whatsoever for what happened. I'm blaming TNA's writing, thinking that they knew how to book the end of the feud between them two. James Storm would be taken a lot more seriously by other people if the push actually went through, but I just feel that it's more TNA's fault why some people probably are bashing him on not agreeing with where he is.
I would just like to address a couple of these things. He doesn't get a big reaction. When he was getting pushed, he was getting a very, very big reaction from the Impact Zone of all places. Lockdown was a very special case because they all seem to keep their hands under their bums on their seats. And to say that he isn't a draw, I think Lockdown did okay buy rates. The ratings did go down when he was in the main event scene with Bobby Roode. I think more of an indication as to whether or not it would have been a draw is if he'd had that match with Roode at Bound for Glory, which never actually happened. So unfortunately, we don't know whether he is or isn't a draw. We can't really back it up because TNA never give out their figures. He does use signature moves of wrestlers that are still relevant. I'm not going to deny that. The Codebreaker thing, many people use that move. The last call is essentially a variation of the Sweet Chin Music. I think the problem now is that people are now seeing James Storm, and it's like there's nothing for him. There's nothing going on. His time was 2012, and it's kind of gone past now to the point where he probably could have been made into a main eventer, and now he just feels like another TNA guy that TNA just haven't really pushed and can't really go all the way with anymore.
I'm just blaming TNA. There's nothing that's going to go against it, because if he did continue and finish his feud with Roode, I think we would have had a star there.
In the right way. Mr. TNA 2005. The Fabulous Freebirds. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Mr. Perfect. These were great names for these legends. There is one missing. Bad Influence, Kaz and Daniels. Would that fit the most? Bad Influence, Kaz and Daniels. What would that fit the most? I kind of see what you're talking about there. Probably wouldn't be Mr. Perfect. It wouldn't be Mr. Wonderful. So I'd say the Fabulous Freebirds, purely because they were a tag team. Which would be the second best wrestling show of the year after TNA X Division Extravaganza, either Impact Raw or pay-per-view of any company? How do you know that TNA X Division Extravaganza is going to be the best? I'd probably say WrestleMania, simply because that is the biggest pay-per-view of the year.
I look at that, and yeah, even though this year it's not looking ship-shop shape, I think, yes, WrestleMania.
If Bad Influence versus the Greatest Factor, aka Aries and Rude, I like to call them Wet Dream Team, just there, would be a feud for the tag titles going into Summerversary. How many minutes should their promos last every week for 3 months? At least 10. You might as well get these two guys in a longish segment every week on TV if they're going to do a promo.
I think with these two, the fact that TNA know they've got gold here, not just championship gold, but gold in both tag teams, they should definitely get promos each week. Maybe building up to the match, maybe more than one, but I do think they should get a fair few minutes, end it within 20 minutes.
Yeah, but knowing TNA, they'll probably blow it away on free TV and not put it on Summerversary like they've done with Lockdown. When Magnus will be world champ, and he will be, in brackets, how many times will he lose to Sting? Remember when he did all those jobs to RVD and we were like, what the fuck, RVD's not even in the Final Four?
I look at this, and let's say he does come world champion, let's say they actually finally don't start giving a push, stop it, a few months later to a year later, try to push him again. If they actually do follow it through, facing Sting, I don't think Sting should try to wrestle again. I just think, yeah, now and again, like Vince McMahon, but Sting versus Magnus.
Can I actually see that happening? I really can't see Magnus versus Sting happening. I really can't.
Not the same level, so no.
And this next question is easy. If NJ, Robbie E, and Claudio Castagnoli would have a What's Up versus Bro versus Claudio thing hand contest, who would win? Oh, come on. Obviously.
What's up?
Robbie E. No, I'm joking. Of course it would be NJ. I'm joking! Anyway, the Supreme Phantom. How would you introduce Taylor Hendricks long-term to TNA? As a manager? As a babyface like she has been so far? Doing what? Make a heel turn down the road? How? I think just introduce her as a new knockout. I mean, for God's sake, we need some fresh faces in the knockout division. I think maybe bring her in as a manager for a little while she's getting her in-ring ability up a little bit in OVW, and then introduce her kind of like they're doing with Taryn Terrell. Just keep her on there for a good amount of time, then bring her on TV, slowly tease that way.
The way I would personally do it is have her come in as a knockout, probably have some nights, not every week, some nights have 2 knockout matches, one being the important one and one being a small one for Taylor Hendricks, so she's on TV, it's a different match, different feud, and it gives someone different to have fight on TV.
Could be a good idea. I mean, just introducing Taylor Hendricks in any way would help the knockouts right now. Lock It's Me 123. Now that Lesnar has signed a long-term deal for WWE for 2 years, when do you think we can expect him as champion? Will he take it off Cena later this year, or will we have to wait until next year? Do you think Brock Lesnar will be the champion? I mean, we've got very limited dates, much like The Rock. He's there for 2 years. So, I don't know. I don't think Lesnar should be anywhere near the WWE Championship. But then again, they did it with The Rock, so, you know.
Let me just sum this question up quickly. So, you ultimately said that Cena's going to beat The Rock. And then you're going to say about him possibly becoming champion again somewhere down the line. With this stupid, idiotic contract, and he makes him there for when he wants to be there or when he needs to be there, I don't think... Yeah, The Rock's trying to make it work, but Lesnar's contract is worse than The Rock, so even though Brock Lesnar the champion and have been someone beat Brock, the ass kicker, could be a big spot, but I just no way want to see Lesnar the champion because he'll never be there.
Good answer. Jamie Irons News NZ. Another question. Well, the Royal Rumble match is obviously complicated to choreograph. Do you know of any instances where wrestlers have botched their part in the Rumble, i.e. eliminating the wrong person? Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to highlight A-Ride, because in the 2011 Royal Rumble, he accidentally got eliminated when I think he was supposed to eliminate John Cena, and then Miz had to come and eliminate him. So I think that was a botch. Not to mention, remember Vince McMahon tearing his quads when he went to the ring at Rumble 2005? That was a bit of a botch.
The biggest one I can think of, I'm not going to forget this, is 2011 when Del Rio won when it should have been Santino, and 2008 when John Cena won.
The biggest botch in history was John Cena returning way too early from the injury and then, you know, being on TV consistently since then, never having a break. Yeah. With WWE PG, oh no, Oh, just relating to this question. Remember that battle royal when Gail Kim eliminated herself? Do you remember that? Because she was leaving the company, she thought, "Fuck it, why not? I'll just eliminate myself." Do you remember that? Happened on Raw. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't remember. With WWE PG and TNA TV 14, do you think any promotion such as Extreme Rising will be successful in providing us hardcore wrestling, the gap in the market, so to speak? I bet there are still a lot of ECW fans out there that wouldn't mind this, but whether it would go mainstream or not, whether it would be able to compete with WWE or TNA, I very, very much doubt so.
I think when people want to see, if let's say you're a wrestling fan and you're against WWE because of the lack of blood, lack of violence and that, I guess bringing a company that will offer that may help, but just not seriously long term because, again, you're still competing against the best. But I'd say it would be a good idea to have a company that offers what some fans, not all fans, want to see.
Well, I'm on their website right now, and they're advertising Justin Thunder Liga versus Sabu, and also isn't Rhino their champion? That's what I think. Rhino is their champion. I'm not even joking, which is just silly. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Where were we? Oh yes, Mind Crushables from Twitter. What are your thoughts on TNA's one-night-only shows? These are going to air on Friday at some point down the line. They're going to cost about $15. They're taped pay-per-views. We've given our thoughts on them before, but just give your quick thoughts on these one-night-only pay-per-views.
I'd say it's a year thing to see if it works. If it works, they'll go on with it. Right now, I still think they've cut down the pay-per-views to a pretty small number, so they're trying to fit it up with entertainment by having these. I'd say what happens within the year. See what happens within the year. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see, actually, how they present this. Are they going to present this as a filler show? Are they going to put some build onto it? So my opinion right now is that the thing is, I thought that with TNA doing their big four pay-per-views, that they'll make their pay-per-views feel a bit bigger, but they really haven't done it. So saying that, I'm kind of thinking these one-night-only shows are a bit stupid, really. But we'll see how they execute them. I know two have been taped already. Some interesting concepts, I think. The X Division one, there are some interesting concepts there, which will no doubt draw some more old school fans, especially the six-sided ring one. John Leslie Reed. I recently read that Mr. T stated in an interview, sucker, fool, that he doesn't want to be in the WWE Hall of Fame because I ain't getting on a plane. No, because Pete Rose was inducted before him. What's your thoughts on this? Well, Mr. T, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, Mr. T. So I would say stop thinking that just because Pete Rose is in there and get the fuck in the Hall of Fame.
The fact is, I feel that everyone who's going to the Hall of Fame, especially after that TV presenter that people complain about, everyone's going to complain, oh, why was he in there before me? Or I don't want to go in because someone like Drew Carey. So many people are going to complain. And Mr. T, you're one of the highest rated people that people probably would vote for to see going to the Hall of Fame. Cut an epic promo. So forget about Pete Rose and just do it.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Dan, here we go. I've got a question all to myself here. I saw the video of you singing and think you have a pretty decent voice. Do you enjoy karaoke? I dabble. I mean, that's really it. I don't really sing. I sing a lot, you know, when I'm just doing nothing. So, but I don't ever really want to go in front of people and sing. The only reason I did it was because I thought that it would be something different on my channel over Christmas, but people didn't like it. So, hooray for originality and hooray for doing something different, I guess. NJ, even though you hate Cena, did you find his Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick entertaining?
It was definitely something different, and it definitely stood out as something different to insult people, get a story across, but again, I've never liked Joke Cena.
Would you be interested in a Magnus and Matt Morgan feud? Depends how they do it.
Everyone seems to like Magnus, so I thank you very much for supporting No Way. But Matt Morgan, I think Matt Morgan should continue the thing with Hogan, but eventually him and Magnus, who would you be putting over? But it's a feud that, again, gives Magnus something to do.
You know, thank you very much for supporting the Brits and Magnus. You know who else you should be supporting? D-Line. Get on the bandwagon that we created. But yeah, I mean, Matt Morgan, right now, he's fucking doing nothing. Like, what are they doing, Matt Morgan? They push him put him in a tag team, and then they just stop. And, you know, if he was a monster heel, I would say maybe, but maybe it would be a good feud for Matt Morgan on his way to maybe winning the TNA World Championship, but now they don't fuck with him again.
And the funniest thing about Matt Morgan, they first teased something with Hogan. He got offered to make it to a pay-per-view match, and he said no.
Obviously, Matt Morgan didn't want that huge pay-per-view payout that they give away at the lockdown.
Yeah.
Or he just thought, you know, why can't I just be there on my own without Sting, because I can take those aces and jobbers out myself. I don't know. Mark the Fish from Twitter. Mark the Fish. I can make that into a little dance. We can make that into the new. We can make that into the new Harlem Shuffle, couldn't we? Or Harlem Shake.
Yes, we could, Dan.
But we're not going to do it.
No.
Which one of the Y2J's return was your best? There are three. There were three each with different impacts.
Number one is this.
I think the first, when he debuted, that was awesome. But his return, which one of his returns stood out to you the most?
The Science Walks, no one's going to forget that. A great mic talker didn't speak for about a month.
The trolling one was weird. What about the Millennium Man one? That was pretty good. Was that his first return, I believe, to WWE?
It sounds like Millennium.
Yeah, I think. Oh, maybe that was his debut. I can't remember.
I think the Millennium was his video, the countdown thing. Yes, that definitely was.
I'm here to save you from the mediocrity of the WWE.
That's not good.
If you could take 5 superstars away and repackage them, who would it be and what
Barrett
would you do
again.
with them? Barrett, yeah, Barrett. Make him into a bare knuckle fighter.
John Cena, because I think John Cena needs something, and plus he needs a timeout.
Yeah, I think I'd repackage. Oh, who else would I repackage? Bully Ray. Make him Bully Ray. Don't make him a freaking. And repackage the Aces and Eights. I freaking repackaged the Aces and Eights into a legitimate fucking faction.
I just leave the Aces and Eights to sizzle away. I won't touch them. So 5 important ones. I'd say. I'm looking at them now. We've gone through the main ones.
Yeah.
I think if I had to think of another one, something that should be a main event, is none other than
Dolph Ziggler. But do you think he's fine as he is just to show off, or do you think he needs repackaging?
I think
maybe Flair as his manager or something?
I think the show off has happened. It's not really helped him, so he needs to come up with something that's actually going to work, because the show off didn't work. So Ziggler, and that maybe will be taken more seriously.
I mean, Dolph Ziggler is a good example of repackaging done right, in the sense that before he was Mickey, and now he's Dolph Ziggler.
And a fifth one, because it's something that will help me take this person seriously, and that's none other than
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee. She needs something that's going to help us take her more seriously, and to get rid of all that bad stuff she's gone through into a better place.
True. Nick Glenn, what are your thoughts on Paige? Very talented girl. She's very young. I don't think she's even 21 yet, but she's very, very good in the ring. Incredibly good looking, in my opinion. Has a very, very good family wrestling heritage and could do very well on the Divas roster. I think out of the NXT girls, she is probably the top diva that could come into the WWE from the NXT ranks.
To be honest, I think Paige should move to TNA, because the WWE don't know how to treat their divas, and plus, yes, it's better pay, which Paige would love, but I just don't know why people are in a rush to help the Divas division, because the WWE are not going to change that.
Well, TNA are hardly really setting the boat high with their knockouts division, are they? It's very stale.
So.
Sweet Latte 18. What's your dream WWE Hall of Fame class? Oh, brilliant. Right. Macho Man Randy Savage.
If I had to go with another one, I'd say I would love to see NWO!
The NWO, that's a good one. What about, I'm trying to think of like old WCW. The Undertaker. The Undertaker in there, yes. I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to think of like the Fabulous Freebirds or something like that from the old WCW days. I think that sounds good to me. I have like a couple of tag teams. Have like Undertaker, maybe have Hogan in there just because he's a big star and everything.
He's TNA Hall of Fame. So I think the headline will be Taker.
Maybe even put a Kurt Angle in there. Who knows? But TNA probably induct him beforehand. So who would you have induct them? So DX you'd have inducted by probably like someone like Mike Tyson or something like that.
I think Tyson would definitely be. Then we had NWO.
That would probably be like Eric Bischoff or something. Yeah. Who would induct
Taker? You could have Paul Bearer or Kane.
Paul Bearer or
Shawn Michaels.
Or Shawn Michaels. Someone like that. Who else did we mention?
Scott Hall. Well, that was NWO.
That's part of the NWO. Those are the three we mentioned. Like if I was going to induct Kurt Angle, I'd have like who already knows who's.
I'd say his brother.
His brother that filled in for him that time when he faced Undertaker. And where would you have it take place? Wembley Arena. Matt Hennessy. What are your top 10 dream matches? Oh, got so many here. Me personally, I've always wanted to see The Rock face Shawn Michaels or The Rock face Macho Man Randy Savage. Austin versus Hogan.
I'd say Triple H and I'd say Robbie Roode. Robbie Roode.
Robbie Roode. Bloody hell. Triple H versus Bobby Roode. They're kind of similar, aren't they?
And Barrett.
What about Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart? That would be a great dream match.
Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan.
Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan is another dream star match. Undertaker and Sting, because of their gimmicks, is a kind of like a dream match.
In about a year to 2 years, Kane versus Abyss.
Or Joseph Park. Or CM Punk versus Austin, I think is another match that people would, especially on the internet, would really like to see.
Vince McMahon versus Sting.
Vince McMahon versus Ted Turner. That would be a big one.
Or
D-Line
versus
just D-Line in by themselves in a segment with their awesomeness. They don't need to face anyone. They put themselves over.
It would be very true, but if anyone, I'd say for your debut match, show who the real tag team is. Beat the jobbers as primetime players.
Millions of dollars versus D-Line. There we go. Welsh Gaming 15. How would you return Stone Cold if it was confirmed he would versus Punk at WrestleMania 30? Basically, how would we return Stone Cold? I mean, I'd want to do it in a unique way, but I can't really. Maybe have him come out in the beer truck.
I'd say in one of the pay-per-views or build up to pay-per-views, let's say a month before pay-per-view, from one pay-per-view to another, they knew it's going to be in Texas. You can see him dissing like, oh, I don't want to go there, blah, blah, blah. And he goes there, he cuts another promo in Texas and just disses it, and all of a sudden...
Yeah, and this time it's not the fake entrance that they did with the Straight Edge Society. It's the real thing. Anyway, what would your tag team finisher be if you're in WWE/TNA? Why don't we just call it the British Fist? And just like it be like... I don't know, the brass knucks. Yeah, why not? Do it like that. The British Fist, get the brass knucks, fuck them up. Actually, no, what we could do, this is an idea, both have brass knucks, put their head like here, and both just like pound them in the head. Or both do the what's up on their head or something.
That's a bit
how creative of a fucking finish is that?
I just do a bit stronger than brass, because brass has been used by women really.
Titanium!
Yeah, something a bit stronger.
Something British.
Oh, yes.
British, I said British when I meant to say biggest. Biggest thing you guys have argued over.
We agree on everything, so...
No, we don't. What are you talking about?
Dan.
We never agree.
True.
Yeah, we never agree. Yeah, we've never really argued because we're both guys that can compromise very easily, and that's the way I like to be. I don't really want to ever argue with people.
No, it's not. The thing is, even though when we have disagreements, we try and sit with the other POV. So I'd say there's nothing really big. The biggest thing recently was the Rock thing going to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But
so even if we do get into a disagreement, it makes for great entertainment on YouTube.
No, it doesn't, Dan. Shut up.
Oh, people say we always agree. Bloody hell. What is wrong with these people? I agree. Who is going to win the world title first? Sandow, Cody, or Kofi?
I'm going to say this is a real shame because I was so close to saying this years back because I would personally like to see it. Boom, boom, boom. But now, after time's passed, I'm going to say none other than someone, even though none of these three really deserve it right now, but Cody Rhodes.
I agree. Lara Lewis, how would you book a WWE versus TNA feud? Well, very simple. You'd have TNA... You just have them invade WWE. That would be such a simple storyline to write.
I'd say with the fact that TNA are going to be doing everything they can to get the ratings up, I think somewhere down the line, something's going to work. They're going to get not quite there, but near there. And I think this would be very hilarious and very ungood coordinating timing. They should both be booked at the same
arena. Yeah. That would be awesome. It would be like two guys, Vince McMahon and Dixie Carr would be like, they'll be fine. I'll be like, oh yeah, who's going to get this arena? We got a live show to do. We got a tape show to do in front of this crowd. Oh, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? You'd have like Cena and, you know, you'd have Cena and AJ Styles like, we were here first! And, you know, that'd be awesome, man. Fucking hell. I think we should be writers. Match card for WrestleMania 28.
Yep.
Cena and Rock.
29, yeah.
Cena and Rock. Taker and Punk. Triple H and Brock Lesnar. Swagger versus Del Rio. They're the 4 confirmed matches that we've got. Kane,
Daniel Bryan. I'm not sure if they're going to defend or go against each other. We have the DX versus
Road Scholars.
Road Scholars, because even though Road Scholars have had no reason to wrestle, be in a feud.
2 matches, also 2 other matches. Shield versus Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show. Looks like it's being teased. And Ryback versus Mark Henry.
Let me give my quick thoughts on the Shield one. It's that Big Show's a heel, so why would he join a face team unless he turned face again? But other than that, I think they definitely need to look at the mid-card championships.
Like get Wade Barrett and Cesaro on the card, even though they've been jobbing all the time. Do you think that kids hurt the wrestling product? No. I mean, the golden era was basically built around pretty much a PG product and trying to satisfy kids, and that was fine. It's the writing. It's not really the fact that kids are watching the product.
Let me just give a yes answer. A yes, because of the kids, that's why John Cena's where he is today. And yes, because when it comes to wrestling, people are missing out on what they want to see because the WWE now are aiming towards the kids more than what the real amount of fans are looking for. So yes.
People say we don't. People say we always agree, NJ. No, we are kind of wearing the same shirts and the same jeans. I'm wearing slippers though. The D-line shirts. Mine's a large. Yours is medium. What rivalry would you choose to define WWE in the same with WCW, ECW, and TNA? The one feud I would say that defined WWE would be Austin versus McMahon.
That's WWF, unless you mean both.
Yeah, I'd say either that or Andre and Hogan.
WWE, it seems to be the CM Punk and John Cena.
Current era, yeah. WCW, I think you'd have to say NWO versus WCW. That would define WCW, in my opinion, from what I've seen of them. ECW, I think Sabu and Taz had a big rivalry in ECW, which was very well received. And TNA, it'd be like a faction versus another faction. They've pretty much done it with WCW.
Immortal
and Fortune.
Yeah.
Or like Main Event Mafia versus Team TNA, or Fortune versus the freaking ECW guys.
No, Dan. Maybe you didn't think this because you're agreeing with the YWC, but AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels.
That's a good one, actually. It's just a shame that it's been done way too much. That's
2
what I
by
would say.
2.
How many matches do they have again? 150 something?
200.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Do you think Eric Bischoff was the last manager to ever mean something on Raw, and would you have him return? Yes.
Return. I think because of his son being one place, he's going to support him there. Him coming back. If he's actually going to come back and do a long-term scheduled thing, then yes, because people relate to him, like him. He did great for business. But with Heyman there, I don't see why they've not catched onto a Heyman storyline. But Bischoff was probably the best serious one they had, yes.
You know what? Matt Hardy is scheduled for Extreme Rising, so I can't take Extreme Rising seriously if Matt Hardy's going to be there. Same with ROH and their stupid copy of the Aces and Eights angle, which I don't give a fuck about. Anyway, sorry. Moving off topic there. If Undertaker doesn't wrestle this year at Mania, do you think he'll retire after one more at WrestleMania 30? Don't you think that WWE should... Oh, sorry. That was the next question. So this one, if he doesn't wrestle this year at Mania, do you think he'll retire after one more at 30? I mean, it'd be a good time for him to retire. WrestleMania 30 it'd be a 22-0 or whatever. WrestleMania 30 would be a good landmark for him to retire.
I'm probably going to make a video on this just because we spoke about it a lot, but I want to give my opinions more personal, straight out. I think Taker should definitely retire when the end of an era. I don't agree with, yes, he hasn't faced the next 2 possible challengers, Punk and Cena, but storyline-wise, what the hell is going to beat that?
That's very true. Yeah, I think retiring next year could be a good landmark for him. I can see exactly what you're saying, though. People say we don't agree. Don't you think that WWE should up Lesnar's schedule so he could be taken more seriously instead of having him quit and get resigned? Bullshit story. You would say yes, wouldn't you? I mean, there is special attraction like Undertaker who only appears once a year, but the problem with Lesnar was that the whole thing with Triple H, he went away for a little bit, so we never really got any storyline advancement there. There's one thing about forwarding stories long term, but then there's another thing in the sense that you kind of just forget about it. And that's the problem with Lesnar's contract. Yes, he may draw some money for the company, and that is why they've got him on this contract. But you know, you look at it in the sense that when he's not there, you just forget about the storyline because he's not there.
I personally think he should be there. This is one of the reasons why I wish he didn't sign again. Is why I've not enjoyed his comeback. Yes, he went straight up to Cena, but after he lost to Cena, he disappeared for a while. So to be honest, I just think that his schedule needs to be improved this year, next year, whatever one he's going to do, just so fans can probably get behind him more and see a storyline grow.
I think they could have spent that money on signing D-Line. Just saying. Anything goes show WWE. If Karma and Beth Phoenix never left WWE, would the Divas division be better? Where do you rank? Of course it would be better. I mean, Karma and Beth Phoenix are two of the biggest names you could probably have in the Divas division. Without them, the Divas division is very non-existent. Since, you know, Kelly and Eva all left as well. You know.
I'm going to agree and disagree. I'm going to agree because Beth Phoenix, before her character started to slip up during the end of her career, I think she was definitely one of the best ones there that actually wrestled, wanted to do this, wanted to do that. Karma was a feud we wanted to see, someone who could be there to just dominate and stuff. I'm not agree because we shouldn't, again, just like Taker, if without those two, they've not really helped the Diva division. When Beth was there, as I said, she slipped up a bit,
True.
And the Diva division. So no, I don't.
Yeah, and Karma really never got that chance to sort of raise the Divas division, really. Where do you rank Aces and Eights all-time amongst the worst factions ever? Wow. They would be very high up on this list, really.
I'm going to say this. In my opinion, surprised or not, they're better than 3MB.
I don't know about that. At least 3MB. Ah, yeah, both of them shit. But Aces and Eights, man, just started off really well, and it seemed like TNA had no idea what they were doing after No Surrender. They are terrible. Matt Z WWE show. Do you think John Cena vs Undertaker will headline WrestleMania 30? If you were going to pick a match to headline WrestleMania 30, that would be it, in my opinion. I really think that would be a good headline match for WrestleMania 30. The Streak versus John Cena.
Again, I'm going to repeat myself. I just don't think these next 2 years match should happen. But if it does, then yeah, it's probably going to go into WrestleMania 30.
The Random Girl 95. Who do you think is the most overrated and underrated women's wrestler? The most overrated women's wrestler. I don't know.
The one from TNA is like stupid hand movement.
Oh, Madison Rayne. She got given like a year title reign and sucked. There was underrated women's wrestler. You know, I'm going to go to TNA on this one. I think Sarita, she never really got a chance. Shame, really, because she did seem like a really good wrestler to me. That there were probably some women on the independent scene, like Sarah Del Rey, who got very underutilized on the mainstream wrestling.
Because I've not seen it for the last year and a half, but fans say that she was once good, AJ. I've not seen it for a year and a half to believe it, but...
We've seen another AJ. How would you book the Divas division to make it relevant again? Wow, you'd really need some brainchilds to do that one. I don't think we're the people to sort the Divas division out. I'd just let it die, personally, because I just don't see the point anymore.
My 2 points. Number one, I think you should bring back Lita, Beth Phoenix, Karma eventually. They're 3 that I would like to see back. And no, I've said this many times, I'm going to say it now, live in this Q&A, I think the Divas should stick to photography for the WWE.com website and all those porny magazines they're in.
You know, AJ Lee might be posting for Playboy soon. I'm so looking forward to that photoshopped edition of Playboy magazine. At least that's more to add to the spank bank. What do you think is the next big Diva feud? Diva A versus Diva B?
Let's say when the championship changes hands, let's say it goes to Tamina. I'm just going to say Tamina for example. Tamina versus Lita.
A heel Mickey James versus Miss Teshmaka. I don't know. There's so little to get excited about in the Divas division right now. We're approaching the hour mark. So yeah, that's probably the best place to end the Q&A. I don't want to go on too long here because I'm freaking knackered and I've drunk. Usually I drink a 750 milliliter bottle. I've kept it down to a rather large cup of water.
People, and all I'm going to say now is that this Q&A is a good pausing point, ready for our next Q&A. We'll probably do one of these going on to the future because I do enjoy these. People, please support D-Line because sooner or later they'll be coming to a hometown or a place near you.
Yes.
And thank you very much, people, for Mr. Parkin.
Talk about reliving old gimmicks.
Parkin and me, NJ. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome! Thank you very much, people. Please do me one massive favour, and that's to keep on smiling. And from the British Fizz, catching good